Hi, friends. Today, we found ourselves in Gary's Christmas school. And right away, things didn't go as planned. First, we had to get out from behind bars. Gary and the school principal seemed to think that students should stay here forever. The school is decorated for the holidays with garlands, Christmas trees, and snowmen. But this doesn't hide the fact that it has turned into a real prison.
These guys, Gary and the principal, seem to have completely forgotten the Christmas spirit. They've turned the school into a real trap. Labrador and I started by looking for an exit in the wall, making our way through hidden passages and secret doors. As soon as we found it, the trials began. Platforms, traps, and difficult jumps, all were designed to stop us. But such beauty around, twinkling lights, festive decorations, and it gives us the strength to move forward. Oh, I forgot. Hi, guys.
Gary has always been a strict guard, but now he is truly evil. I heard that he and the principal never liked the students, and now they decided to turn the school into a prison so that no one could leave. These traps and trials seem endless. But every time we see the Christmas lights, it reminds us that the holiday is still near, and we can't give up.
We've already passed several parkours, jumped over snowy obstacles, and avoided icy traps. This whole journey feels like a Christmas tale, only with elements of horror. Gary patrols the corridors, but we keep moving forward, avoiding his gaze. Freedom is still far away, but each stage we pass brings us closer to it. And even though the school looks festive, it's still very dangerous here.
Friends, we have many more trials ahead of us, but we are determined. Gary's Christmas school won't stand in our way. We will continue to search for an exit and overcome all obstacles on the path to freedom. The holiday spirit will help us, and no Gary will stop us.
Every new corridor, every jump across snowy platforms brings us closer to the exit. We will overcome all difficulties and prove that even in such a challenging situation, joy can be found. Forward to freedom, despite all obstacles.
After all these trials, I realized that Christmas is not just about gifts and decorations, but also about the strength of spirit. Every time we face a new trap, the Christmas lights remind us that we are fighting for something bigger. Gary and the principal may try to stop us, but they don't understand that the holiday spirit gives us the strength to overcome any difficulty.
I agree, Labrador. Even when it seems like the exit is far away, we keep moving forward. Every snowy tunnel, every decorated corridor reminds us of our home, where our families and friends are waiting. We had to navigate through the most challenging parts, but this Christmas spirit lifts us up.
Just now, we were doing parkour right above lava. How can there even be lava in this snowy school? I'm in shock. Is Gary a robot? This Gary has completely taken over his school. He even invented this robot. But it's really weak, haha. It can't even catch up with us.
Ouch, that ball is rolling right at us. But I think I figured out how to get past it. Labrador, we need to stay close to the wall to dodge this super fast ball.
Recently, something completely unbelievable and very sad happened in our animal town. New Year's Eve was approaching, and all the residents were eagerly awaiting the holiday. The children were especially excited because they knew Santa would bring them presents. But this year, something went wrong. We started receiving complaints from parents that the gifts they had left under the tree for their children had disappeared. At first, we thought it was just a joke or an accident, but the number of complaints kept growing, and it became clear that something strange was going on.
Labrador and I decided to get to the bottom of this. After investigating, we discovered that an evil Santa lookalike had appeared in town, stealing presents from the children. No one knew where he had come from or why he was doing this. We realized we had to act fast to save the holiday and bring joy back to the children. The trail led us to an old abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, where, according to rumors, the evil Santa was hiding.
When we reached the warehouse, we saw that it was lit up with lights and decorated with garlands, as if there really was a celebration going on. But inside, the atmosphere was completely different. There were scattered gifts all over the floor, and we saw the evil Santa checking his loot. He was big and grim, with a frown on his face and a cold stare. We realized that we couldn't defeat him by sheer force. We needed to come up with a plan to return the presents to the children.
We decided to use trickery. I suggested that Labrador distract the evil Santa while I quietly snuck over to the bags of presents. Labrador started talking to him, trying to lead him deeper into the warehouse, while I began gathering the scattered gifts and hiding them in our patrol car. When Labrador saw that I was almost done, he signaled to me, and we started moving faster.
Once all the gifts were collected, we decided we needed to stop the evil Santa so he wouldn't continue his misdeeds. We used a special net that we had prepared in advance and captured him. It turned out that the evil Santa was a cursed creature who needed warmth and kindness to become good again. We took him to our station where a local wizard lifted the curse. The evil Santa became a kind, ordinary Santa once more, and the gifts were returned to the children.
After everything that happened, our town was filled with joy again. The children received their presents, and the restored Santa promised that he would never again fall under the influence of dark magic. This incident reminded us that sometimes villains can simply be victims of circumstances, and that the true magic of the holiday lies in kindness and supporting each other. Labrador and I returned to our duties, knowing that New Year's in our town would once again be bright and joyful.
In our animal town, the most awaited holiday, New Year, was approaching. Everything was ready. The Christmas tree was decorated. The children were drawing pictures for Santa, and the streets were glowing with lights. But this time, something went wrong. In the evening, when everyone had already started preparing for the holiday, strange things began to happen. At first, the residents noticed that decorations on the Christmas trees were disappearing, and the presents left under the trees were simply melting away. Dobie and I decided to investigate what was going on.
We started our investigation and found out that evil elves were behind everything. They had always helped Santa, but this time something went wrong. These elves decided to spoil the holiday by destroying everything related to New Year's. They used magic to remove all the joy and festive spirit. Labrador and I realized we needed to act quickly before the holiday was completely ruined.
We needed to find the elves and stop them. The trail led us to the forest, where we discovered a hidden base filled with magical toys and candies. The elves were preparing for their final step, turning the whole town into winter without any joy or celebration. Dobie and I knew we had to use trickery to bring the holiday back to the town.
We came up with a plan. I suggested luring the elves into a trap using their own toys. We placed magical toys in different corners of the town, knowing the elves would surely find them. When they arrived, Labrador and I used special shackles to capture them. Soon, all the evil elves were caught, and the holiday was saved.
Once we restored order, everything went back to normal. The trees were decorated again, and the gifts were back under the trees. The elves, deprived of their magic, vowed never to ruin the holiday again. New Year in our town was filled with joy again, and Dobie and I were proud of restoring peace and fun.
This story taught us that even in the darkest moments, you can find light and restore joy. And although the evil elves tried to ruin our holiday, Labrador and I managed to save it. New Year in our town became even brighter, and we hope we never face such troubles again.
Since morning, our animal town had been unusually quiet. Dobie and I were patrolling the streets as usual when we received an urgent call. An old scientist, Professor Skotchkov, had appeared in the center of town. He was known for his strange experiments. He was always developing something, but never knew how to control his inventions. This time, however, he had created something that could change our world. He had developed a time machine, but something went wrong, and as a result, we found ourselves trapped in time. And it wasn't just a repeat of one day, it was something much stranger.
As soon as we found ourselves trapped, we realized something was wrong. We were back in a school classroom, and time began to loop in a circle. We would wake up, start the day by heading to school, then end up in the same lesson, taking the same test, and everything would repeat over and over again. At first, we didn't understand what was happening. Each time we went through the day, we faced the same problems and situations. But we noticed that each time, we became a little better, a little smarter, and gradually started to guess that the day wouldn't end until we solved the main puzzle.
We tried everything, changing the order of our actions, trying to talk to the teachers, thinking that if we did something differently, we could escape. But nothing changed. Every time we moved on to the next day, everything was exactly the same. We would again go to school, sit in the same seats, answer the same questions. Trapped in this loop, I started to realize that this situation wasn't just a set of learned tricks, but something bigger. Our goal was to get a grade of 5 in the main subjects we were given, and only then would the day stop. It was strange because we always thought grades couldn't be that important.
At first, we tried to find a way to escape, but the faster we rushed, the more mistakes we made. We understood that the key was to get a grade of 5. and only then would the day end. We began preparing more thoroughly, paying more attention to every detail, but still, everything kept repeating. We managed to get the grade of 5 and passed his trap. Thanks, everyone. We've beaten this boss. See you in the new mode.
Hi, friends. As you can see, we're at school, which means today we have to escape from Mr. Stinky.
Hello, everyone. But first, we need to get out of the classroom. Crazy Mr. Stinky put our picture on the board and wrote that we're newbies. We need to prove him wrong.
Of course we will. We are real sheriffs. Let's activate the fire alarm and escape before anyone notices.
Sheriff Labrador, difficult trials await us ahead. We need to save our strength for the final boss battle.
Oh, it seems he was nearby all this time. Stealth is not an option. Let's run!
He's looking at us with such a scary smile, he's about to catch up. We need to speed up.
What a huge belly he has. Is he really asleep? Maybe he just wants to scare us or play. Perhaps he's curious about how we'll handle his trials.
Haha, why did he fall asleep? Well, better not to risk it.
Someone tried to escape and stepped into this strange green liquid. I hope it's not acid. Let's climb into the vent. Hold your breath so you don't choke on the dust.
Now we'll jump through the parkour. You're a pro at this, so I'm sure we'll pass without mistakes. Looks like he's awake. Hope he doesn't attack now.
Look how creepy this looks. Why did he drill a hole in the wall to spy on us instead of installing a camera?
Brr, very creepy. Maybe he thinks this will scare us and we won't be able to continue.
Such things don't scare us. We face scarier things. We need to ignore him and focus on the goal. How do we open the gates?
Maybe these two buttons will open them. The question is, do we need to press them simultaneously or separately?
It will be unfair if the door only opens together. We'll find out soon when we press the second button.
How much money and time was spent on creating all these trials? He's really crazy. Why does he need all this? To watch kids cry?
Great. The door opened. I think he spent about $1 million in 10 years on all this. But we haven't seen the other trials yet, and they are probably more difficult. Oh, this trial looks familiar. Maybe he wants to learn our weaknesses for the final battle.
Now we need to focus on not getting hit by the laser. I don't understand how lasers can disintegrate things. I've only seen those used to play with cats.
There are powerful lasers used in material processing. Their power allows cutting through various objects.
Got it, thanks. Look, this guy is offering to take a secret path. Should we trust him?
If it's a trap, they'll just kill us and we'll respawn. Plus, I'm curious to see what's there.
It's a giant hanging platform. Maybe there will be a boss battle. Why did this guy say it's a secret path?
All we can do is press the red button. Okay, the button summoned the boss. He looks like Mr. Stinky, but with pipe legs and a large gear. Maybe Mr. Stinky likes steampunk and made a robotic copy of himself.
Considering the technology, it's possible. But Mr. Stinky is too old to master such technology. Although, given his madness, anything can be expected from him.
He has almost no health left. The main thing is not to get too close so he doesn't hit us with his hat.
Oh, that was exhausting. He's too strong or we have too weak weapons.
All right, what's next? We defeated him and we got nothing. What nonsense. Maybe they'll at least leave us the weapons. Oh, I accidentally jumped. No big deal, we'll respawn. This guy just tricked us. He probably wanted to laugh, but something went wrong. Did you notice that these books have spikes? It's dangerous.
And those spiked balls, they look like viruses. I hope we didn't get sick.
We almost ran into a spiked mace. Oh no, it's yellow-toothed Larissa. Grab your weapon and shoot her in the eye. She looks like Mrs. Stinky because she has terrible breath.
I hope she at least takes a shower. She has horrible makeup and a wart on her face. Now it's clear. Mr. and Mrs. Stinky are dating. Interesting.
Hooray! The second boss is defeated. Dobie and I were patrolling the town when we received a distress call. Professor Tailstein, a well-known scientist and inventor, had created cyborgs meant to assist the townsfolk in their daily tasks. But it soon became clear that something had gone wrong. Instead of helping, the cyborgs began to act aggressively. Dobie and I realized we couldn't ignore this. Tailstein always had strange ideas, but we never expected something like this.
Yeah, at first everything seemed like just another normal project. The cyborgs were helping with cleaning, delivering goods, ensuring safety. But soon reports came in that the robots were breaking equipment, scaring people, and in some areas, even attacking residents. Sheriff and I immediately realized something wasn't right. These machines were too smart for simple tasks, and it seemed like they were starting to plan something. We went to the professor to figure out what had happened.
When we arrived at the professor's place, he was in a panic. He claimed that his program was supposed to work as intended and that the robots couldn't have gone out of control. He said he didn't understand how it happened, but his invention was clearly no ordinary one. We inspected the lab and quickly realized that something wasn't right. We started suspecting that someone might have interfered with the system and introduced a virus that altered the behavior of these robots. Time was running out and we needed to act fast.
The professor told us that the central control module, which controlled all the cyborgs, was located in an underground lab. It was a secured area, and getting in wouldn't be easy. But Sheriff and I knew that without accessing it, we wouldn't be able to stop the cyborgs. We began planning how to break into the lab, knowing that many dangers awaited us along the way. If we didn't succeed, the town would be destroyed.
We entered the lab and immediately faced our first obstacle. A few cyborgs were patrolling the corridors. We tried to move quietly, but one of the robots spotted us and activated the alarm. More cyborgs appeared right away and started moving toward us. We had to act fast. Dobie and I fought back in sync, but every step was getting harder. The cyborgs weren't backing down.
As soon as we passed the first corridor, we realized our task was only getting more difficult. New patrols were waiting for us at every corner, and if we weren't careful, we'd be spotted. I suggested using some devices to temporarily disable their sensors. We managed to pull it off, but time was running out, and we knew that every second counted. We kept moving toward the main hall, where the module we needed to disable was located.
When we reached the central hall, we were met with a real cyber barrier. Several cyborgs surrounded the control module, guarding it. It was a full-on battle, but we knew we couldn't lose. We attacked from different sides, but one of the robots triggered the defense system. At that moment, we had to act quickly. While they blocked the entrance, I searched for a way to disable all their signals. In our town of animals, there's nothing scarier than a school night. It all began when we received a strange call. In the school where the youngest residents study, all the lights went out. At first, it seemed like a simple power outage, but as soon as Dobie and I arrived, we knew something was wrong. The darkness in the corridors was so thick that we could barely make out the path. There were no students to be found, but strange sounds echoed as if someone was wandering the dark halls.
Sheriff and I decided to investigate the school. As we walked through the first floors, we noticed strange marks on the walls, as if someone had been hiding or running in a hurry. We made our way to the old basement, a place no one usually ventured into. The school was quite old, and the basement had always been surrounded by rumors. They said that many years ago, mysterious experiments were conducted down there. At that moment, Sheriff and I began to feel an unsettling sense of anxiety building up. We moved forward, trying to locate the source of the strange sounds.
When we descended into the basement, the air was heavy, and the darkness felt almost alive. We discovered an old, dusty mirror that had once stood in one of the classrooms. It was covered in grime, but when we cleaned it, something strange reflected back at us. It wasn't our reflections, but silhouettes that resembled students, with empty eyes. We quickly backed away from the mirror, and at that moment, we heard the basement doors creak open. We turned around and saw a shadow begin to move down the corridor.
We rushed toward the exit, but the doors were locked. It was at that moment that we realized this wasn't just a security system malfunction. The shadows were moving faster, and there were more of them. We tried to find another way out, but every corridor led us back to the basement. Suddenly, one of the shadows began speaking in our voices. That's when we understood. This wasn't a coincidence. Someone or something had brought this place to life.
Dobie and I desperately tried to escape, but the more we moved, the more creaking footsteps we heard behind us. We decided to use some old school equipment to disable the electrical systems. As soon as we did, the shadows started to disappear, and silence returned. Once we were outside, we realized this wasn't just a malfunction. We had saved the town, but the dark forces in the school were still lingering.
When we told the townspeople the story, many started looking at the school with suspicion. But despite everything, the shadows had vanished, and in that moment, we understood sometimes even the darkest corner can be a hidden test for those who are brave enough to face what they don't understand. Sheriff and I returned to work, but that evening, when night fell, neither of us could bring ourselves to go back. We knew this school wasn't just a building, It was a place where dark secrets hide.
Well, friends, we did it! We conquered that evil teacher! I, Labrador, want to thank you for joining us on this adventure. Remember, with us, you can chase down any problem and beat it.
See you, friends. We're always on guard. Hi, friends. Today we're going to try to escape from an evil dog in Roblox. It's right behind us, but it seems to be sleeping. So for now, we're safe.
Hi, everyone. Not only do we have challenges ahead, but also boss battles. By the way, if you know the name of this dog, let us know in the comments.
Sheriff Labrador, what if we jump on her belly?
Let's do it, but be ready in case she wakes up. Don't worry.
I think she's stuffed and watched TV all night.
Yeah, looks like we need to crawl through the vents. But there's parkour ahead. Good thing I did that back in school.
Oh no, you accidentally broke her mom's vase. Looks like she's sleeping soundly. Hope she won't notice when she wakes up.
Let's quickly pass through and slip away. Oh, here's a huge room. See those metal platforms? We need to press a button.
I wonder why this dog created all these challenges. I don't think she could handle them herself, although they could be useful for maintaining health.
Wow, it's a rope bridge. I used to ride one of those when I was a kid. Maybe she built all these obstacles so no one could disturb her sleep. But here we are, trying to escape from her. Strange that she kidnapped us. Look, she has a family. Why can't we see them? And who's the guy in the picture on the left? Looks like Tom's friend.
I have a theory. We've entered a world of talking animals. Maybe this is hell because no one wants to be forced to talk, especially about things they don't want to.
Probably. She built all these trials to avoid the fate of endless conversations. Now we need to find the others and figure out why we were kidnapped.
Maybe they kidnapped us so we'd replace them in conversations and they could be free? Or maybe they feed on other animals and that gives them the ability to talk? Or maybe they're just a little crazy. We need to focus on getting out of here and figuring out what's going on.
We need to crawl through the vents. It's the way to the next location. Hopefully we'll meet some new characters.
Look, it's Talking Tom!
Oh, he fell!
Get ready to run.
I don't think he has good intentions. Have you ever seen Tom with red eyes? He looks like he's ready to crush us like pancakes. Looks like he's about to start shooting lasers.
What if he can do more than just talk? We'll need superpowers to apprehend the suspects.
Why is he hiding around the corner? Did he think we couldn't see him?
Maybe he's a little dumb or just sleepy and disoriented.
He has funny little teeth like a baby. You know, he even seems a little cute to me.
Oh, looks like you like all of this. Hope you don't start turning into one of them. Are you in a trance or something?
I don't know. Hope I'm not getting absorbed by this atmosphere. If something happens, let me know.
Of course, let's go through the vent. We've already dealt with Tom. Let's see who's ahead. Looks like a kid's room.
Maybe it's Ben's room?
You're right, it's a girl. I wonder what her name is and if she's facing the same problem as Ben.
While you were talking, we're already in her paws. Why did we get teleported back? I don't think she's as evil as Tom.
I think so too. If she wanted to bite us, she would have gotten out through the bars. There are huge gaps in them.
Oh, her name is Lily. Strange that there's no room for her brother. Why are they separated like that? Let us know in the comments if you have a brother or sister and live in the same room.
What if something happened to her brother? Maybe that's why everyone went crazy and thinks we killed him.
Dobie, you're daydreaming again. It's distracting us from our main goal. I don't think it's as scary as you think.
We're in the central ventilation system that provides oxygen to the entire complex. I wonder what we can leave as a souvenir here.
It was an ordinary night when Dobie and I were patrolling the city of animals. Nothing unusual until a strange light appeared in the sky. It was pulsing, changing colors, and moving like it was alive. I immediately realized it wasn't a meteor or a regular drone. We decided to approach it. When we got to the deserted park, the light grew brighter and descended right in front of us. We stopped, turned on the sirens, and began observing. And then, from that light, dogs began to emerge.
I thought it was some kind of illusion, but no, these dogs look nothing like us. They were large, with bright, almost glowing eyes. Some of them wore metal collars, which were clearly more than just decorations. I felt something stir inside me. It was like encountering something completely different. They approached us confidently, as if they knew exactly what they were doing.
They didn't look like ordinary dogs. Their behavior was calm, but determined, and their eyes held such confidence that it was immediately clear. They weren't random visitors. One of the dogs, who seemed to be the leader, stepped forward and stood on its hind legs. It looked at us, and we realized that it wasn't just trying to scare us, it was trying to communicate. It began explaining that they came from another world, where everything is the opposite. There, dogs are the rulers, and humans are the pets.
I couldn't believe my ears. It felt like something out of a science fiction movie. These dogs claimed that their civilization was much older and more advanced than ours. They traveled between worlds, and now that they had found ours, they wanted to propose an exchange. We, the dogs, should become pets in their world, and they would become the masters in ours. And to do this, they were willing to use their technology to move us there.
I was stunned. We, the dogs, would become pets, and these creatures, strange as it sounded, would take our place. But their confidence in this proposal was so strong that there was no point in doubting. They said their world was one of harmony and order, where dogs rule and humans serve as pets. I felt that this wasn't just a random appearance of aliens. It was a proposal that could change everything.
I kept trying to wrap my head around what they were offering us. Exchange. It wasn't just a word. It meant that our world would change forever. We could try living on the other side, in their world, where dogs were rulers and humans were our pets. We could experience a life we'd never known and see how everything worked there. But I also realized that if we agreed, we would never return.
We were faced with this choice: exchange worlds, become pets in another world, or stay in ours. But knowing that would mark the end of ordinary life. I didn't know what to do, but in their eyes, I saw sincerity. This was more than just an offer. It was an opportunity. We could change not just our lives, but also understand what it meant to be part of another reality.
When they offered to use their technology to travel between worlds, I felt my heart race. It seemed unbelievable, but the thought that we could become part of their world was inevitable. Dogs ruling humans. Life in another world. I didn't know what awaited us, but I was sure of one thing. From this moment on, everything would change.
The day Dobie and I received the call, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. We were patrolling the streets of Animal Town, as usual, when our radar beeped. It was an emergency call, and when we heard what was happening, I felt my heart race. Something terrible was approaching. An evil scientist, known for his bizarre inventions, was threatening to launch a machine that could turn rain into a shower of sweet candy. It seemed harmless. What could be wrong with candy rain? But we knew the consequences could be catastrophic.
As soon as we heard about the scientist's plan, we knew exactly what was at stake. Candy rain wasn't just a fun prank. Sheriff and I knew that too much sugar was a serious threat. If this rain actually fell, all the kids would get toothaches. But it wasn't just that. We all know how hard it is to control the urge to eat a candy. What if there were too many of them? It could lead to severe dental issues and even health problems. We had to act fast.
We sped through the city, and with each passing kilometer, the sense of urgency grew. The scientist, as always, couldn't just leave people alone. He was insanely confident in his plan and didn't think about the consequences. In his lab, a massive machine was already prepared to launch the candy rain.
When we got to the location, everything was ready. The scientist was standing by his machine, surrounded by a tangle of wires and mechanisms that clearly didn't look safe. We immediately realized that time was running out. The machine had already started launching the first candies into the air. They were falling with great speed, like rain, but instead of water, it was caramel, chocolate.
Well, here we are. Behind this door, we've got the map's final boss waiting for us, and it looks like we were wrong. This isn't just any boss. It's a giant robot named Ben. Let's try shooting him right in the teeth. I'm aiming for his legs. Maybe that's his weak spot and he'll fall.
Wow! Ben turned out to be a real coward. Instead of fighting, he just built a giant robot.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he were sitting in a chair right now, sipping coffee and watching a movie. I hope it's not alcohol, though.
And he's probably watching football while we're attacking him. This is so unfair. When we got to the location, everything was ready. The scientist was standing by his machine, surrounded by a tangle of wires and mechanisms that clearly didn't look safe. We immediately realized that time was running out. The machine had already started launching the first candies into the air. They were falling with great speed, like rain, but instead of water, it was caramel, chocolate, and lollipops. I quickly assessed the situation. If we didn't intervene, tomorrow all the kids would be in trouble. As soon as we turned off the machine, the sweet rain stopped.
Wow, we won! Don't forget to congratulate us in the comments, but it's time to leave this crazy world of talking animals.
Well, I guess it's time to say goodbye. Hope you enjoyed our escape from the talking animals.
Yeah, don't forget to leave comments, like, and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to us. Also, check out our other videos and let us know what you'd like to see next. Time to move on. Let's go to new adventures. Wait, what's going on over there? I hope that's not a giant ginger robot. Or Angela. Bye. Hello everybody, Sheriff Labrador and Dobie here.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. As you may have guessed, today we are escaping from Mr. Smiley's daycare. Let's get started.
It's hard not to notice all these neon arrows leading to the ventilation. By the way, didn't you find it strange that he was just standing there staring at us?
I think all these facts point to Mr. Smiley conducting experiments on us, or he's playing with us like we're lab rats.
You must be right, and he's just crazy. I think he'll be watching us through surveillance cameras throughout all the trials. Brr!
I agree, it's creepy, but we're sheriffs. We won't be scared by that.
Meanwhile, we're parkouring over pipes in the sewers. Did we fall into a manhole?
I don't remember that either. I think we entered through the ventilation, not a manhole. Everything in this daycare is so strange.
Well, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that I'm the best parkourist in our town, and we'll get through this challenge quickly.
Let's think about how we got here. We're not kids, after all.
It seems like there are two possibilities here. Either he's grabbing everyone and tossing them in a cell regardless of age, or he's a bit blind and didn't notice we're not kids.
It seems to me like he knew we were sheriffs and wanted to see if professionals could pass all his challenges.
That's also a great theory, but we still have to figure all of this out.
Oh, look, there's a big fan on the floor here. It blows so hard that we're being lifted up.
But we need to be careful and watch out for the laser to protect our heads.
Great job. We've reached the next obstacle. I see a grill ahead. It looks like we need to press these buttons to open it.
I hope we don't have to press them simultaneously.
Let's check it now. We just need to jump over this rotating platform.
We've been walking through this sewer for a long time. I have a question. Why is it so gigantic, and where does all this acidic water come from?
Great. There's just one button left. I don't understand why they made such a huge sewer, but I think the acid is what powers all these mechanisms and engines in these trials.
I remembered an interesting story about how we saved our city from an acid flood, but I'll tell it in a couple of minutes. So watch the video to the end, guys.
Great, the gates are open. Let's go.
Hold on, we need to pass one more rotating platform.
I know we can do it. This was a very simple challenge.
I'm still bothered by the fact that the sewer is connected to the ventilation. The whole daycare must smell awful.
It seems like it's depicted here that children love us and pull us towards the ground. What could this mean? And who leaves these drawings?
Wow, look, he's right in front of us. Why isn't he paying attention to us? I don't think he can't hear us.
I think he's deliberately ignoring us to attack when we least expect it.
Oh, you were right, but now we need to make a run for it.
He's very close. Ow! Oh no, what's happening? Where is he taking us?
If I'm honest, I didn't understand his intentions. Maybe he wanted to take us back to the cell but accidentally swallowed us.
It seems to me that those crawling kids distracted us. We need to check on this right now.
It looks like both Mr. Smiley and the kids are interested in us. They seem to be in it together. Perhaps he feeds them a special blend.
Great, it seems like we've confused him a bit and he's stuck. It's a good moment to make our escape.
It seems we need to jump into this hole. Goodbye, Mr. Smiley.
Hey, just don't crash on the way down.
Nice job, Dobie. We landed next to the ball pit. Let's keep going.
I already have an idea of what we need to do in this challenge. One pipe should be enough for us.
While we're going through this challenge, let's tell the guys the promised story.
With pleasure, I will tell this story. This day started off as usual, but soon we began receiving alarming reports from the townspeople. Water coming out of their taps was unusual, starting to acidify and even change color. Labrador and I were immediately dispatched to investigate this strange situation.
Arriving on scene, we inspected several homes and saw that the situation was indeed serious. Water flowing from the taps was not only acidic, but also of various colors, from green to purple. This immediately put us on alert because such a thing couldn't be a coincidence.
We began our investigation and soon discovered that the problem stemmed from an error by one of the sewer workers who had mistakenly connected the pipes beneath the laboratory. Waste from the lab, containing acidic substances, had started to flow into the city's water systems.
We realized that if we didn't stop this flow of acid, the city could be in danger. We urgently called in specialists to help us regain control of the situation and prevent further contamination of the water.
Through our combined efforts with our team, we set up temporary barriers and started pumping out the contaminated water from the system. While engineers worked to fix the errors, we ensured the safety of residents and coordinated the evacuation of those in particularly hazardous areas.
Wow, look, while we were telling the story, we reached the boss battle. The sign said we need to knock Mr. Smiley down. But how do we do that?
Let's get this sorted out. I noticed there are small children on his platform. I'm sure they'll be in our way.
Let's observe what he's going to do.
I think it's better to run before he jumps on us.
Oh, let's retreat.
2. We need to be more careful. Just like the sewer worker under the laboratory from our story.
I agree. He should have been more careful when he was fixing the pipes. But the main thing is that everything turned out fine, and this incident showed us how important it is to be vigilant and prepared to help, regardless of the job.
Oh no! Did you see how that kid sneakily grabbed our legs and wouldn't let go? Where does he get all that strength from? And he pulled us down too. But now we know we need to steer clear of those kids.
I got it. We need to lure him and wait until he starts attacking, then step aside at the right moment so he falls into the lava.
Ha ha ha! Why do these kids fly so amusingly into the stratosphere?
Why is he so close to the edge but not falling? Maybe we need to wait a bit longer or step back a bit later.
Try to step back as quickly as possible so he doesn't have time to react.
And also, we need to stand closer to the edge of this platform.
Oh no! One kid did manage to grab onto us after all. How did that happen? There were so few of them left here.
Yay! We dodged it! That's what you get, Mr. Smiley. I hope we don't encounter him again, and he won't hinder our escape from here.
Let's continue our escape. The main thing is not to fall now. That would be really frustrating, especially if we had to start the battle all over again.
Looks like we need to take the elevator. There are so many floors. It seems like this isn't a daycare, but an entire complex.
Wow! Just look at how enormous these rooms are. I can't believe all this was made by Mr. Smiley just to amuse himself by watching us go through these trials and fall into traps.
Oops. Yeah, this is all very strange and mystical. I wish the author had added some notes so we could better understand the plot. Damn. Here we go again with these rotating platforms, and there are 10 times more of them.
And I also see a bunch of swinging maces ahead. There must be 10 times more of them than in one of the previous trials. Why are we being tortured now if we defeated Mr. Smiley and there's no one left to watch us? Or maybe those little crawling kids are actually adult souls trapped in children's bodies. Brr.
And it's like the kids actually organized all of this, and Mr. Smiley was just a tool in their hands. That's truly creepy, Dobie, but I think we're overthinking it. This daycare couldn't have such a well-thought-out and captivating plot. We should save this idea and create a game like this. Guys, would you play a game created by Sheriff Labrador and Dobie?
Hey, that sounds like a great idea. Now we just need to learn how to create games. Speaking of games, since we're on the topic, let's tell the guys the story about how we saved our residents' computers from a massive virus outbreak.
Of course. Don't worry, there won't be any viruses in our game. It just happens to be a coincidence. This day seemed ordinary until we started receiving anxious calls from the town residents. Everyone was talking about strange updates on their computers that couldn't be postponed. Immediately after installing the updates, their screens were flooded with pop-ups, and some computers demanded ransom to unlock. Someone was so scared that they even threw their computer in the trash. Dobie and I realized this was serious and required immediate action.
Our first step was to determine the source of the problem. We found out that the operating system update came from one of the largest software companies. We went there to conduct our investigation.
At the company, we discovered that none of the employees were aware of what was happening. However, after carefully examining the security logs, we found out that a new employee had recently joined the company. This employee had been planning their sinister plan for years, writing the virus in advance and figuring out how to embed it into the update. He wrote it down on a flash drive and once he was hired, put his plan into action.
Realizing the need for swift action, we turned to the city's best programmers. Together, we started working on removing the virus and restoring the systems. We had to immerse ourselves in cybersecurity to understand how to combat this evil.
The process was complex and demanding. We had to develop special programs to remove the virus and recover data on infected computers. Programmers worked day and night, while we ensured coordination and support.
Thanks to our combined efforts and perseverance, we managed to create a program that eliminated the virus and restored the systems of the town's residents. We spread it through local media and social networks so everyone could download and install this fix.
Hooray! Dobie, we've escaped from that daycare. That means it's time for us to say goodbye. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Leave a like and be sure to tell us what else we should play. Maybe Poppy Playtime?
See you later.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today, we will be escaping from the evil pot-bellied grandpa.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Sheriff Labrador, we better keep it down in case he wakes up and whacks us with his cane.
Stupid Dobie, you're yelling louder than me. Look, here's my photo. I'm afraid to think what he did with it.
What are you thinking, Labrador? I think he just printed it out to remember your face. Let's go before dinner time comes and he wakes up.
Let's just jump on his belly instead. You're scared of Dobie again. What can he do to us? His eyes even look in different directions.
Oh no, Labrador, I think we woke him up. Run!
It's okay, Dobie. That old poker is running at a snail's pace. But you'd better hurry up. You're too close to him. Don't fall behind.
I feel uneasy. My tail senses someone about to bite me from behind. The main thing is not to look back.
You're right, but we're almost there. I don't even know why that old man has so many dentures, and why doesn't he clean up the floor? It seems like he's tired of chasing us. Look at these strange photos. Why hang something like this on the wall?
We did it, Sheriff Labrador. Maybe he really loves to look at himself. Although, judging by everything, he hardly ever gets off the couch.
Look! What are those giant boogers on the fork? It doesn't look like broccoli. I hope he didn't bite into them. And there are no teeth of his fallen out inside.
If I'm honest, I adore broccoli. They taste like mushrooms mixed with sea kale. Write in the comments if you like broccoli.
What are you talking about, Dobie? Everyone hates broccoli. Let them rather write what they love to eat the most.
Everyone has different food preferences. If someone likes something that you don't, it doesn't mean that person is strange.
What? Did you see that? Why did I die? I didn't even touch him. Stupid developers. Let's just finish this. Let's calmly walk through these chattering broccoli. See the face of that old man ahead? Just go to him and don't look back.
See that guy? Why is he walking backwards? He's just distracting us. Shoo! I stopped just in time. Spinach almost hit me in the muzzle.
I thought he was really just standing there waiting for us to pass these trials. Turns out he's so crazy he built his own giant iron copy and embedded it in the wall. But even your mom's bigger than him. Ha ha ha.
Watch out not to fall into the lava, Labrador, or you'll roast your sheriff outfit. They won't clean it off like last time when a seagull pooped on you. You tripped over a stone and fell into the city fountain. Ha ha ha.
Why are you speak off the cuff, Dobie? Maybe I should remind you of when you slipped on a piece of pizza and crashed into a lamppost. We had to pay for its repair too.
Very funny. But let's not get distracted, or you'll fall again. Let's ask the guys if they would like to see a video on our channel where we both play The Floor is Lava in Roblox. Write in the comments.
Why are you standing there, you goofball? I've already passed. Let's go further. Ahead of us awaits a conveyor belt with giant falling vegetables. Watch your head.
Once again, we are next to broccoli. Maybe you'll take a bite while you're next to it. I think you'll like it.
Where did you get lost there? Eating your broccoli again? We're in a hurry. Ahead of us is the room where we were at the very beginning, only now we're on top. I knew we just had to climb up to escape from him.
Sorry, they were very tempting. I couldn't resist. Look down. What's that pink stuff all over the floor? Maybe it's gum or jelly?
So, I'm Labrador, and my faithful partner is Dobie, the sheriffs of this wonderful city where something happens every day. But this day was truly special. It all started with rumors of strange experiments conducted in our city by a mad scientist. Everyone was tense, but no one expected that these experiments would lead to such a nightmare. This scientist, lost in the realms of science and madness, decided to experiment on jelly. Yes, you heard it right. On that sticky delicacy that each of us loves. He tried to improve it, making it more elastic. But alas, everything didn't go as planned. In one horrifying moment, there was an explosion that threw the scientist several meters back, and the jelly began to grow at an incredible speed. It covered everything in its path, threatening to flood our city. People ran in terror, screaming and praying for salvation. But I, Labrador, the sheriff of this city, couldn't allow this dreadful jelly to destroy everything we had built for so long. And I knew that my faithful friend Dobie was always by my side, ready to help. We moved forward. Our mission was clear: to stop this jelly at any cost. We swam through this sticky madness, my nose literally getting sucked into it, but we didn't give up. With my unmatched intellect and Dobby's nose, we found what fueled this jelly. Some strange reagent left by the scientist in his madness. We destroyed it, and the jelly began to melt, like falling snow. The city was saved. People came out on the streets again, and Dobby and I were proclaimed heroes of the day. But for us, the real reward was that we saved our beloved city from ruin. Thus ended our most incredible day, full of adventures and dangers. And, although no one will know about it firsthand, we know that we, Labrador and Dobby, the dynamic duo of canine justice, saved the world.
Amazing story, Labrador. Thanks for reminding us of it. But why did you bring a board with you? You can't slide down on it like on a sled.
I brought it for you, Dobby, in case you want to protect your pants.
Ha 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 ha! Very funny. Then let's talk about how you tore your pants when you climbed a tree to rescue a cat. The strangest thing was that the tear was in a very unexpected place. I hope the cat didn't get psychological trauma from what she saw there. Ha ha!
Let's not think about that right now. We're about to reach our main goal, to defeat that cheeky, pot-bellied old man.
Okay, Sheriff Labrador, let's focus on that. The main thing is not to repeat what happened a few minutes ago. Don't fall into the lava, ha ha! Look ahead, there are sod boards. Let me go first. I'm not as fat as you, so they won't break under me.
Look, Dobby, in the distance you can see that old man's lure, a golden prune. Strange choice. Why did he spend a lot of money on a dried fruit statue? Maybe it's because that old man himself looks like a dried fruit.
Why did that guy fall apart? He couldn't handle the upcoming challenge mentally. But I hope we'll succeed, Sheriff Labrador.
Dobby, let's finally finish this. Grab that prune and run. That way, we'll distract him with you, and I'll shoot at him with the bazooka.
Oh no, Labrador! It looks like he's hunting you instead of me. I'll try to distract him somehow.
Don't worry, he's very slow. Just make sure to dodge his big red laser. I don't want to find out how painful that is. It would be nice to have a bazooka like that. It would come in handy for major arrests. It even shoots backwards.
We're almost there. Let's push harder. I wonder how long it took him to make that giant suit and how he got inside it.
Yes, we did it. Great job. The world is saved from the crazy old man. We should celebrate, Dobby.
Hooray! Why did he just sink into the ground? Now that we're done, let me tell everyone an interesting story about how we saved the city from a virus epidemic. It all started on an ordinary morning. I went on duty with my partner, Sheriff Labrador. We noticed a sudden increase in the number of sick animals in the city. They were all complaining of weakness and fever, but no one could understand what was happening. We knew we had to act quickly, or the whole city could fall ill. I called our old friend Professor Ben, who worked in a secret laboratory outside the city. Ben had always been at the forefront of science and technology, and if anyone could help, it was him. "Hi, Dobby," said the professor. "It seems I have something that might help you. We've recently developed special visor glasses that allow you to see viruses in the environment." Labrador and I immediately went to Ben and received these amazing glasses. Putting them on, we saw our city in a completely new light. Viruses were everywhere, in the air, on surfaces, even on people and animals. "We need to find the source of the infection," said Labrador. His tail wagging with excitement, we began surveying the city, looking for clusters of viruses. The visor glasses showed that one of the abandoned houses was teeming with viruses. We cautiously entered and discovered an old laboratory where someone had apparently been conducting dangerous experiments. On a table, we found records indicating that someone had deliberately released the virus into the city. It was unthinkable. We gathered all the evidence and returned to the city to warn everyone and start cleaning the infected areas. "We need to isolate the infected and disinfect everything they might have touched," I ordered, and Labrador set out to coordinate the actions of the residents. Together with Professor Ben, we set up purification stations throughout the city. The residents, realizing the seriousness of the situation, began to help us. Labrador and I patrolled the streets, ensuring that everyone was safe. After several days of hard work, we finally managed to get the epidemic under control. The viruses disappeared, and our city became healthy and safe again. "You did a great job, Dobby," said Professor Ben, patting me on the shoulder. "Without you and Labrador, we couldn't have handled it so quickly." "It's our job," I replied modestly. looking at our beautiful city. We're always here to protect those we care about. So, with the help of new technologies and a team of friends, we were able to save our city from an invisible threat. The visor glasses became a symbol of our victory over the epidemic, reminding everyone that even ordinary law enforcers can do great things.
Great story, Dobie, but it's time to say goodbye. We still have to save the world in real life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. If you want us to play the scariest map in Roblox, leave a comment.
Goodbye, everyone.
What? Where are we, Dobie?
I don't know, but it looks a lot like a children's room, with toys everywhere.
Wait a minute, it can't be. This looks like
The
Evil Doll's room. Hello, everyone. Today, Dobie and I are going to escape from the Evil Doll's house. What will we encounter?
And what awaits us will be a multitude of amazing and mysterious challenges. Our goal is not only to escape, but also to defeat the evil doll herself.
Just look at this room. It even has a special atmosphere that makes you start to feel like a child again.
I completely agree with you, Labrador. Today we will also plunge into childhood and explore the house of this doll.
So, it looks like we need to go through this small passage. The arrows lead to the house. Hopefully, the battle with the doll won't start too soon.
We picked up some candy. I wouldn't try it. She might have poisoned it. We need to find 10 of these candies.
It seems like we need to jump here. Let's postpone it for a bit and explore this house. Maybe we'll find something useful here.
Great. It wasn't in vain that we looked around. We found another candy.
Hooray! Checkpoint so we can die.
How much she loves herself, hanging her own portraits. I think you took your phrase too seriously. There was no need to die for a check.
I accidentally thought it was okay to walk there.
Ahead is another hole. Where are we descending to? It's like we're not far from hell.
Doesn't look like hell. It's a mountain of dishes here.
Listen, for me, a mountain of dishes is hell. I hate washing them.
And I'm the opposite. I enjoy it. I turn on my favorite playlist and sing along. It really lifts my spirits.
It's very strange. It seems like this place hasn't been cleaned in years. Maybe instead of washing dishes, she just buys new ones?
Yeah, that seems to be the case. I can't think of any other explanation for this mess.
It feels like we still have forever to go. I don't see the end in the distance. These arrows do have a mesmerizing effect, almost as if they're intentionally arranged to create an illusion or induce hallucinations.
Did you notice that in this room the floor is lava? But I see roses in this lava. It seems like these are hallucinations.
I see them too. Great, we've reached another checkpoint.
It seems like there's finally an end. Phew, I hope the next location won't involve parkour. I'm a bit tired already.
Some creepy toys, perhaps a demon has possessed them, or the souls of children are trapped inside them. Brr! Scary. By the way, did you know that in Poppy Playtime, the toys aren't actually bloody, but it's a mixture of red Poppy? I recently studied the storyline of this game. It's very interesting.
No, I didn't know. I'll definitely check it out in my free time, but just look at how we were fooled. It turns out we didn't see the real end, but now we can see the house in the distance. It seems like we should head there.
Let's hurry up then. I can even see a Ferris wheel. It's a very interesting location. I'd like the amusement park to be close to our police station.
Hey, Dobie, have you ever thought about candies?
Of course, Lab. Who doesn't love sweets?
True that. But do you have a favorite candy?
Well, I think my choice is chocolate candies with nuts. What about you?
I prefer caramel candies. They're like a sweet sound in the middle of the workday.
Agreed. Sometimes caramel can be a real lifesaver. But you know what's even better than candies?
I don't think anything can be better than candies. Well, maybe even more candies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on the same page with you. Candies are just incredibly delicious.
You just look at her. Why is she sitting there staring at us and didn't even say hello?
It seems to me she pretended to be an inanimate doll, but was actually watching us.
Then it's even scarier. Maybe we need to walk around here and find a way to open the gates.
Here it is, the button. Looks like we need to press 3 of these.
It says you can hide here. Looks like we're about to face some dangerous challenge.
Let's go.
And here she is, descending on her long braids. How does she see anything with those eyes?
Oops, let's hide quickly. I want to watch her from a safe place.
Let's climb higher. Maybe she won't notice us that way.
Did you see that? Her braids just flickered past the room. I'd hold my breath.
We mustn't forget our current task, namely to press 2 more buttons.
It's good that we took a look around. It's never unnecessary. Actually, I see quite a few rooms here where we can hide, so this challenge will be very easy for us, especially considering that we have experience as sheriffs.
I constantly hear her whispering. It's very unsettling.
Oh no, she's behind us. We need to hurry and press this button and hide. Let's lighten the mood and ease the tension by telling the folks a couple of interesting stories.
Okay, let me get started. It was a regular morning in our quiet town. Sheriff Dobie and I decided to relax a bit and headed to our favorite corner cafe to enjoy some delicious donuts and good conversation. Just as we were starting to savor the aroma of fresh donuts, our tranquility was suddenly disrupted. We received a call from the evil ice cream vendor who allegedly hypnotized children with his ice cream and demanded ransom. Without hesitation, we abandoned the donuts and rushed to the scene. The situation was serious, and we needed to act quickly. Upon arrival at the ice cream stand, we found a group of children with blank, trance-like stares, as if they were indeed under hypnosis. We realized that the ice cream contained some strange component that affected the children's minds. Without wasting any time, we devised a plan. I distracted the ice cream vendor by asking him questions about his ice cream, while Dobie searched for and destroyed the source of the hypnotic influence. Thanks to our coordinated efforts, we were able to expose the villain and free all the children from his control. We apprehended the ice cream vendor and handed him over to the police.
Great story, Labrador. In the meantime, we've passed the first mini-challenge and are tackling the parkour again. Let me continue our tales. Waking up to the unexpected sounds of fireworks, I immediately sensed that something was amiss. After all, it was still early in the morning, and such loud noises didn't fit the usual order of things in our town. Getting out of bed, I realized that I needed to check what was going on. Stepping outside, my nose caught something strange. The smell of smoke and fire. Sheriff Labrador, my faithful partner, was already waiting for me outside my house, and his expression said it all. Something serious had happened. Following our instincts, we decided to investigate the area where we heard the fireworks. Soon enough, we found the source of the smoke. A warehouse storing goods for our town was on fire. We quickly approached the scene and began unraveling the puzzle. The traces left at the crime scene told us that it was the work of malicious criminals, unwilling to bring anything good to our town. Gathering all possible evidence, we concluded that our task was to find the culprits and prevent further attacks on our community. Thanks to our efforts and meticulous investigation, we were able to track down the criminals and arrest them before they could do any more harm.
Dobie, you remembered another captivating story as well, but I can already feel that we're close to our goal. The final battle with the boss, the evil doll, is just around the corner. But before that, I want to share one more of my stories. After a long and well-deserved break, when Dobie and I finally returned to work, I felt full of enthusiasm and ready for action. However, to our surprise, the first few hours on duty were completely calm. Not a single call came in, and I began to find it suspicious. Suspicions grew when I noticed that our antenna wasn't transmitting signals. Apparently, something had happened to the wires. We started checking and found that the wires had been chewed through. The culprit turned out to be an evil raccoon, who clearly didn't want us to receive calls and be able to help people. Realizing immediately that our communication was disrupted, I pressed the SOS button to alert the other sheriffs about the problem. We couldn't afford to leave our town unprotected due to unexpected technical issues. Soon after that, the calls started pouring in one after another. It was obvious that people needed our help, and there was no time to waste. Dobie and I immediately headed to the scenes to assist those in need.
Oh my God, while you were telling us your story, we've already started battling the evil doll. Let's give her a fight.
Did you see how that giant candy nearly hit us on the head? We need to not only aim at it, but also dodge its attacks.
She seems to really love sweets. How is she not stuck in another place? Oh, she's a doll.
Shoot more accurately, our shots are missing.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
By the way, Dobie, have you ever thought about the harm of sweets?
Of course, Lab. Sweets can be delicious, but they can also be harmful, especially if consumed in excess.
Exactly. I've noticed that lately our residents have been consuming too many sweets. This can lead to health problems, especially for children.
Yes, and not just for children. We need to inform our citizens about the importance of balanced nutrition and limiting the consumption of sweets.
Agreed. Let's organize a campaign to educate people about the dangers of excessive sugar consumption. Together, we can make our city healthier and stronger.
Yes, we did it. Well done, Sheriff Labrador.
Hold on, maybe we haven't won yet. I'm not quite sure what she's doing right now.
It seems like I understand what's about to happen, and I'm glad about it.
Oh my, what a ridiculous death. It must be quite embarrassing, especially considering she almost had us for dinner.
Absolutely! It's time to celebrate our victory for real now!
Sometimes even the cringiest dances feel like a victory lap, don't they?
I agree with you, but it's still good that other players don't see it.
It seems like we've reached the end of this place, which means it's time to wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching us escape from this house today, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, don't forget to suggest other Roblox places for us to play. We're not saying goodbye. See you later.